So a couple months ago, I sold all my RF lenses, not because I really wanted to, but because I had to. And that's another story for another day. And I've said that in like a previous video, but yeah, we'll definitely talk about it. But you know, at the time I was selling those lenses, I kind of felt really bad because I felt like, hey, you know, I'm not going to be able to get the deal that I got to buy these lenses anytime soon again. So hey, you know, but I definitely had to let them go. And you know, I was thinking about how it was going to affect my photography moving forward. Now, if you're thinking about how many RF lenses I had the Canon RF lenses, by the way. I had the 85 1.2, the 50 1.2, the 70 200 f2.8, and it had me thinking, how many times do I actually use these lenses, or they've just been decorations inside my bags, right? And the 7200 I practically bought and sold brand new because I never used that lens. The 85 I used quite a bit. That was like my favorite RF lens. And then the 50, I barely used that lens, to the 51.2. So it got me thinking, and I checked like my portfolio and looked at my images and the lens that I was using for the most part, and it was the 100mm, and that was the cheapest lens of the bunch. So I then reached out to a few photographers to ask, you know, if you went through your catalog, you know, Lightroom, Capture One, looked at all your photos, what would you say is the major lens that you used? And all photographers had one major lens that was their key lens that they used all the time, and then they had another lens that, you know, was second to that, and then they had a few more lenses that were literally just in their bags, not doing anything, and those were specialty lenses. Now, if you absolutely need to have those lenses that are specialty lenses, then, you know, by all means, you know, go ahead and get them. But it made me realize that for the most part, you're probably just going to need 2, maybe 3 lenses at most. So you have that one lens that's your go-to lens for everything that you do. You have a second lens that is, for the most part, maybe going to be like a wide angle lens. So let's say you shoot portraits, so you have like your main portrait lens is probably going to be like an 85 or a 70 200, or you shoot weddings, and then you have that lens that is probably going to be like the 24 to 70, or some people just shoot prime, so you have like 35, and then you have a second lens which is probably going to be like a 50, or you know, you have a second lens if you're a portrait photographer, always going to be like let's say you have a 70 to 200, you have a 24 to 70, or you have an 85, then you have a 24 to 70, and then you just have one third lens which is probably going to be like a macro lens or something that will help you, you know, get those niche shots, and that's about it. But we as photographers are often just crazy about gear, and what we do is just spend a ton of money, you know, looking at the next lens. I know Sony just released the 28 to 50, and you know, obviously as YouTubers we're going to do reviews. Nobody sends me shit because like my channel doesn't get a lot of views, so hey, nobody sends me anything. But you know, we kind of like, we'll get these cameras, do these reviews, put them out there, and you start feeling like you're missing out. For the most part, I'm pretty sure you have everything that you need in your arsenal right now, and you don't need a lot of gear or a lot of lenses and all that. So hey, you know, why are we spending all this money, if you think about it, buying these lenses? Now, would I buy my RF lenses back if I get the same deal? If the deal is just too sweet for me to say, you know, let's say, you know, get these lenses for like 50% off, yes, I would. 100%. You know, I probably use them a lot more now than, you know, I did at that point. But if I do not get them at a steal, I'll probably at one point in my life still try to get the 85 because I absolutely love that lens. I have an 85 Rokinon in my bag right now. I feel like the 85 is a lens that I have always used, and you know, like it's always been a staple. So the 85 has always been a staple in my bag. I've always used that for portraits. Now I've been using my 100 for portraits. It's really good, but you know, I just really like sometimes to shoot with that low aperture in the studio, you know, instead of shooting f2.8, maybe going down to f1.4. Yeah, so for the most part, yes. But would I get 50 again? No. Would I get 70 to 200? I don't think so. I don't think I need that lens. I used to use that lens a lot in the past, but no. If anything, I'll get the old Canon 180mm macro. I feel like that's one lens that I really want to get, because I want to see what that would look like with my beauty portraits and then with products and all that stuff. So the 180mm, and it's an old lens. It's something that I probably get for like $600 now or something, or $700. So, and that's Canadian. So US is probably going to be like $450, $500. So that's one lens that I'm thinking about getting. So for the most part, I don't think that we need to spend the kind of money that we spend on lenses. To be honest, that's my own opinion. You know, I'd like to know what your opinion is, but I feel like we're wasting a lot of money on gear, and I feel like we can actually save that money and put it into other things, you know. So yes, so I'm pretty sure you would have that 1 or 2 lenses that you use all the time, maybe a third lens, you know, for just specialty stuff, and you don't need more than that. Like I've seen people that have a lot of lenses, maybe 5, 6, 10 lenses in their arsenal. Like for what really? Like, except you have like this whole business that you have other people shooting at the same time with you. I don't think you need all that. And if you need a specialty lens for just one project, you can then go rent that lens and you're good. You know, you pay to rent that lens for a day. How much is it to rent that? If you're using a lens once in 6 months and the cost of that lens is, let's say, $2,500, right? Or let's say the cost of that lens is even $1,500. If you're using it once in 6 months, don't you think it makes more sense to actually rent that lens for when you want to use it? But at the same time, you know, have photography friends around you that have other focal lens that you probably need once in a while, and you can always borrow from them. But if they're not available, you can always rent it. So yeah, that's my thought process. I feel like it's just a waste of money to own a lot of gear from somebody that has owned a lot of lenses in their bag, in his bag and everything. So hey, if I had the opportunity to buy that again, probably at the discount, I would definitely consider it, or I'll definitely buy it so I can sell it back at the right price. But for the most part, I would get the 85, maybe switch that with my Rokinon, sell my Rokinon, get the 85. And what other thing? I don't know. Like, I'm very fine with my EF, my 100mm EF. I've not had the urge to switch that to the RF, and even if I did, I'll still be having my 100mm as my main lens. Then what other focal length am I looking at? I have my 35 that I use all the time. That's what I'm recording with right now. I barely use it to shoot any photos. It's mainly for just recording videos. So I'm probably going to switch this from the 35 1.4 to the 35 1.8 Canon, because the autofocus is better and this one just keeps jumping because it's Sigma. It's amazing for photos though, but for videos I don't really like it. But yeah, that's about it. Anyways, check out my digital store. Link will be in the description below if you're looking to support this channel and also retouch better and retouch faster. Check it out. Put links in the description. Put a link up here. Check out my pro retouching pack. It'll help you retouch better and retouch faster. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think too. Peace out, my guys and girls and everybody that's watching. Stay safe.